Tommy Pickard is the Principal Deputy Spokesperson for the Department of State. Mr. Pickard, thank you so much for being with Deutsche Welle.
Thanks for having me on.
100 days of Donald Trump. Many Americans are really worried. Empty shelves are expected due to Donald Trump's China tariff politics, and even the sales of McDonald's are dropping to a low which we haven't seen since COVID. Is this a good start?
Look, I think I would reject a lot of what you were saying there. I think a much different frame is how Americans are viewing this. We're seeing a president that's putting America first, but also making sure that we're securing a lot of different trade deals across the world, making sure that we're having a robust manufacturing center, making sure we're working with our allies and partners to advance our common interests. Americans are seeing that President Trump made a lot of promises and he's already delivered on them, coming to the border, the economy, foreign policy. So I think when we look at the economy, we look at the accomplishments of the last 100 days, the one word to describe it truly is historic. It's been a historic 100 days, and the next 100 days are going to be just as good, and President Trump's going to keep on keeping his promises.
But looking at the polls, Donald Trump is not doing that well. Even many Republicans are starting to get worried if this massive tariff kind of war, some people call it like that, is really heading in the right direction. What do you tell those people who are really worried about the future of the economy of this country?
Well, I think I tell them to look at the dialogue that's happening. The fact that we already have countries coming to the table to really get that fair and reciprocal trading relationship. And when we have that fair and reciprocal trading relationship, that of course helps the American worker, that helps the American consumer, but it also makes bilateral relationships with different countries a lot stronger. It makes it stronger in the long term because fairness and reciprocity are what leads to economic prosperity in a lot of ways. So I would say look at all the countries that are coming to the table. Look at the fact that we have inflation down from when President Trump took office. Look at the fact that we're seeing all this dialogue happening, and that's really what President Trump promised to do. It's what he is doing, and the American people see that.
But did he expect these turbulences? I mean, you're talking about the inflation, but the dollar is down. I mean, I get so much more money for my euro now. So the dollar is as weak as it hasn't been for a long time.
Well, look, again, I think look at all the countries coming to the table. This is about making sure that we have a revitalized manufacturing center, making sure we're having investment come into the United States, and there are already examples of investment coming into the United States, making sure we are lowering those prices, and we're seeing that with inflation, making sure, again, that the American worker is put first. Speaking from an American perspective, you're seeing a wide array of people from traditionally different sides of the aisle coming together to support these tariffs because of the initiative it has to put the American worker first. So we're seeing that dialogue, we're seeing that fairness, that reciprocity. And again, that's what leads to a long-term economic success, peace through strength, as President Trump likes to say, but also stronger bilateral relationships based on fairness, based on reciprocity, based on mutual interest to really pursue our common interest.
Another big promise, of course, was immigration. Donald Trump talked a lot about it during his campaign. Now, a Trump-appointed federal judge in Texas barred the Trump administration from deporting Venezuelans. How big is this of a backlash for the Trump deportation policies?
Well, I'm not going to comment on pending litigation, ongoing litigation, but what I can say is that illegal border crossings are down 95% compared to last year. 95%. That is a huge promise made, promise kept, to use a very popular political term. But it's not just a political term, it's based in reality. We are seeing those decreases in illegal border crossings. And we're also seeing enthusiasm from countries across the Western Hemisphere, but really across the world, to partner with us to stop illegal immigration, because illegal immigration doesn't just hurt the United States, it hurts every country that's dealing with it, especially when you add in the element of transnational crime, the cartels. Strong efforts we've taken here at the State Department to designate certain cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, making sure we're combating the flow of fentanyl. We're seeing partnerships with countries around the world, again, because they recognize as well that we need to end illegal immigration. We need to combat transnational crime. So we're seeing those partnerships, and we're seeing that success with illegal border crossings down 95% compared to this time last year.
But does this mean that you have to deport 4-year-old kids with cancer?
Well, look, when it comes to that case that you're speaking of specifically, the mother was here illegally, the secretary spoke to this, and the children go with the parents. I mean, that's not a controversial phenomenon that children should be with their parents when it comes to if the mother's here illegally. And I think, again, going back to the general point here, illegal border crossings are down 95%. And I think what's important to stress is the mutual benefit we're seeing here. The only group that benefits from illegal immigration that we saw over the past 4 years were the transnational criminal enterprises. The migrants, the illegal immigrants did not benefit. We saw a huge amount of horrifying stories for people that were making that route to the border. The Americans don't benefit because of the flow of fentanyl. Countries don't benefit that are seeing these transnational gangs go from country to country on their way to the United States. This is about mutual benefit. We're seeing that mutual benefit. We're seeing those illegal border crossings go down. That's a major success story for this administration.
Another big promise was, of course, to end the war in Ukraine on day one. This didn't happen for many reasons, but now we have this very crucial mineral deal. Would you agree that with this deal, Donald Trump has tied himself closer to Ukraine than to Russia?
Well, it's about the mutual prosperity of the United States and Ukraine. I mean, that's a clear point of this initiative. And it's also important to note that 50% of the funds from this deal are going to go towards future projects to have that reconstruction in Ukraine. I mean, this is about mutual prosperity, mutual benefit. I keep on using those terms because it really is a hallmark of this administration to pursue those common interests, put America first, but in doing so, so many different people benefit, including in those bilateral relationships. So we are seeing this first of its kind historic critical minerals deal that's going to lead to prosperity in the long term for the people of Ukraine, for the people of the United States. It really is historic, and the fact that it comes in this 100 days, again, shows the success of President Trump, his new approach, his approach to being the best deal maker that he is, but also the peacemaker that he is, and the foreign policy that he's pursuing.
What do you think Donald Trump or his administration is going to do if Vladimir Putin keeps bombarding Ukraine? Will they send more weapons or military aid to Ukraine?
So I don't want to speculate or preview what may happen. I don't want to speculate what may happen down the road. That's ultimately up to the president. President Trump has spoken about this, about how he hasn't been happy with certain actions that have been taken, and has himself put forward different options that may happen. Again, I don't want to preview or speculate on those. But what is clear is that President Trump is a peacemaker. His North Star is the pursuit of peace. That's why we've seen the engagement from the highest levels of this administration in pursuing that peace. That's why we've seen this critical minerals deal pursued, for first showing that getting to that peace, but also the economic partnership that we want to see, the investments, the mutual prosperity we want to see. So President Trump's a peacemaker. He's going to continue pursuing that peace. He has been pursuing that peace, and that's really one of the guiding principles of his foreign policy.
As I have you, we have to talk about Walz. He kind of got canned, left, whatever. He's not longer the national security advisor to Donald Trump. Why?
Well, I think, first of all, taking a step back, what we're seeing is President Trump building his team. We're seeing National Security Advisor Walz go into the United Nations. That's an incredibly important post. We're also seeing Secretary Rubio, again, being part of this team. And I think it's a testament to the team that President Trump has put together, a testament to the partnership that we've seen and the foreign policy accomplishments we've seen. The last 100 days truly have been historic. There have been so many accomplishments, and we're building on that progress going forward. President Trump, of course, being the visionary here with that foreign policy. So when we're looking at this team, President Trump has that team in place. We're seeing maybe people go to different positions, but it's a testament to the accomplishments we have seen and the accomplishments we hopefully will see in the next 100 days.
But Walz reposting has something to do with Signalgate, no?
Well, no, again, what I can say is that this is about reshuffling those positions, and it's a testament again to the accomplishments of this administration, the partnership that President Trump has with Secretary Rubio, for example. I can speak to that here at the State Department. The partnership that they have, the communication they have, the accomplishments that they have together, and we'll hopefully continue seeing the next 100 days.
But Marco Rubio is now wearing 4 hats. How can a foreign minister be the national security advisor to the president, who is normally really close to the president? How does this work out, flying around the world and being close to Donald Trump?
Well, again, it's a testament to that partnership that they have, the communication they've had, the accomplishments we've seen. I think that's a big story here when we're looking at this recent announcement. The fact that we have a foreign policy that has been so successful under President Trump and Secretary Rubio, and will continue hopefully being successful over these next 100 days and beyond.
Mr. Pickott, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.